Yo, what up, Bears? We're going to jump into the Layer 2 update, what you need to do to get ready, some new features, and make sure you're fully informed about everything that's going on in the ecosystem before we migrate to Layer 2. So, the first thing you want to do when you jump in is you want to claim all of your Layer 1 assets over to Layer 2. So, what you're going to do in order to do that is you're going to come over to here, you're going to click this up at the top right, you're going to click Claim to Layer 2, and you will be prompted with a UI window. 1 second while I fix this. Alright, we're good to go. So, you'll be prompted with this UI window when you click on the Layer 2 Claim button. So, now we can claim any asset from Layer 1 over to Layer 2. And all this is going to do is create an identical copy of your asset from Layer 1 and put it onto Layer 2, leaving the Layer 1 asset in a suspended state where it cannot be used in the ecosystem. So, what you're going to do is you're going to click this drop down here. You're going to select any of the collections that you want to migrate. So we'll click Gen 0. You will select however many bears you want to migrate over to Layer 2. We'll do 4 here. We're going to click on Claim, and we will get a MetaMask transaction pulled up. There it is. And now all we have to do is confirm this transaction in our wallet, and we will then have claimed these 4 assets from Layer 1 to Layer 2. So we're going to wait for this transaction to go through, and we will be right back. Alright, so we just claimed those, I think we did 3 Gen 0s over to Layer 2, so those will now be in our wallet for the gameplay. Similarly, you can go through, you can claim Gen 1s, you can claim TreeHouses, token generators, MetaPasses, the works. So yeah, get all your assets claimed over, migrated onto Layer 2, so you have them all ready to go for your shenanigans. So, the next thing we're going to go through is claiming your BLD from your Layer 1 balance over to Layer 2. So, from this same window, you're just going to come over to BLD, and you will see 2 buttons to click. So, this is the risk-free claim. So, from the old in-game balance, this is where you'll be claiming from. So, if you already had BLD claimed on Layer 1, you can then use this risk-free claim to get all of that BLD from Layer 1 to Layer 2 without being subject to elite stealing. Now, a little bit different than that is the risky claim. So this is your in-game balance, which will show up here. So you have 2 options. You can either bribe the elites or you can fight the elites. Bribing the elites, you will by default pay a certain percentage of your BLD balance, and that BLD balance will be distributed to the elites, the percentage you pay. So bribing the elites will allow you to take a significant portion of your BLD to Layer 2, but you will also pay a small portion of your balance to the elites to migrate your BLD over. The second option you have is the more degen route, so you can fight the elites. Fighting the elites is, so you won't pay any, let's say a quote-unquote down payment to get through. This you will either take all of your BLD to Layer 2, or the elites will steal a very hefty chunk of your BLD balance. These numbers, I want to say it's 50% for fighting if you get stolen from, and somewhere between 20 and 30% for bribing to get through. So, choose wisely, decide which one you want to go for, and yeah, good luck if you decide to fight them, and those elites get hungry. So yeah, and then so if you do have an elite staked, if you end up getting a distributed amount from this claim game, you'll come up here to the elite claim. If your elite has stolen some BLD from this, it'll show here. You'll just claim the BLD, and that'll go straight into your balance. So yeah, that's all you need to know for getting all of your assets over to Layer 2. So now, what I would do is make sure you have all of the necessary approvals done, and then we can start exploring the game. So for the approvals, all you do is you're going to come up here, and there is going to be an approval settings button. You're going to click on this, and you will see all of the approvals you need to do for all of the Layer 2 stuff. So in my case, I have a lot of them done already. So yeah, just make sure you have all these done before you get going, so you don't have to spend time doing that if you're in a crunch time scenario. So yeah, we're all set up. We have all of our BLD, we have all of our assets, and we have all of our approvals done, so we're ready to explore the game. So yeah, we're going to jump right into Gen 1 rerolling and how that works, how you do it, and yeah, so let's get to it. Alright guys, we've just got everything set up, we're good to go. Now we're going to jump into Gen 1 rerolling. So to get to Gen 1 rerolling, you're going to head over to the factory location, which is here. Alright, so we've made it to the factory, and this is just where that you will choose whether you want to reroll Gen 1s or to fuse tree houses together to increase their size. For this scenario, we're going to be doing the Gen 1 rerolls, but we will talk about TreeHouse Fusing in the very near future of this video. So we're going to go to the reroll, we're going to click on this button, and now we can see all of the Gen 1 bears we have available for rerolling. So how this works is you will select at least 2 Gen 1 bears and you can fuse them together to re-roll into new traits and even increase their levels. So you do have a chance of re-rolling a Gen 1 Elite. The Gen 1 Elites will be less powerful than Gen 0 Elites, but will still have the functionality of stealing BLD from other players claiming within the ecosystem. So if I go ahead and I choose 2 Gen 1 bears, we'll click these 2. We'll notice that we have a 4% elite chance down here, and it will cost us 20,000 BLD to initiate this transaction. Again, one of these bears will be burnt, and one of them will not, and will be re-rolled. So whichever one you choose first, in my case it would be 1577. You can tell because of the yellow border around it which one you've chosen. Will retain the Gen 0 or the Gen 1 ID. So I'm going to burn 3 Gen 1 bears together, and you'll notice that the ID ends up being 1577. So I'm going to continue. It's going to give you a warning. It's saying you will be burning a Gen 1 bear, and I will be doing this reroll. You'll get a MetaPass transaction to ask you for some Matic to initiate this. We're going to go ahead and confirm, and I'll be right back once this transaction is through. Alright, our transaction just finished up. You can tell because of the little completed icon here. Now if we click view result, we will see we have bear 1577. In this case, because it's in the testing environment, it does not show the new bears, so we're going to have to refresh the page to bring it up. So I'm going to refresh the page and we'll see what kind of Gen 1 we got. Alright, here we go. We've just found our Gen 1 bear, number 1577, and as you can see, he has been re-rolled and looks completely different than what he did. So yeah, that's how you will re-roll Gen 1 bears, and we'll migrate our way back to the re-rolling page now. Alright, so we're back at the re-rolling page. Now this Gen 1 bear has been re-rolled, and it does look like the one I had just showed you, but we are on the testing environment, so it's a little bit slow to update. But I just wanted to show you guys what happens when you use a Gen 1 bear that has already been used to burn. So if I choose this guy and this guy, we see now we have a 21% elite chance here. So again, if I burnt this again, this bear, number 1577, the elite chance would increase and increase and increase until eventually you would get an elite Gen 1 bear. So yeah, that's how the Gen 1 re-rolling works. We've been having a lot of fun just testing this out and seeing what we get. So we hope you guys are able to snag some of those Gen 1 elites. They're really cool, they're really powerful, and yeah, I wish you guys luck in the burning. So we've got the Gen 1 covered. Now we're going to move into the TreeHouse merging and upgrading. So I'll catch you guys on the main page and we'll navigate there together. Alright guys, we're back on the main screen. We just did our Gen 1 re-rolling, we just covered that. So now we're going to dive into TreeHouse forging, merging, and upgrading. So we're going to migrate over to the factory, just like the Gen 1s. We're going to click into here, and then we are going to choose the fuse option. So we're going to click start fuse, and we will now be greeted with the factory and fuse screen. So again, pretty straightforward. All you need to do is you will go ahead and click this plus sign. It'll bring up how many tree houses you have. So I'm going to select this level 2 tree house, and I'm going to select this level 1 tree house, and I'll click continue. That'll throw them in. And what this does, it will take the highest level treehouse you have and it will just add a +1 to it. So in this case, this level 2 is the this level 2 is the highest level treehouse I have selected. So it's going to add +1 to this level 2, creating a level 3, as you can see here. Now let's see, if I did a level 2 and a level 2, I will get a level 3 treehouse again. So it doesn't matter what the size of the treehouse is you're using to upgrade a treehouse. It will always add a +1 to the treehouse to upgrade it to a level 2 or a level 3. So you've got your treehouse selected. You'll go ahead and you'll click complete fuse. It will bring up a, oh, looks like I haven't approved the factory yet, so we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, factory is approved, and now we'll get the transaction for the treehouse merge. So again, we'll confirm this. We'll get a little animation on the screen saying that our tree houses are being fused together, and once this is complete, we will be back for the result. Alright guys, the fusion has been completed. We'll be prompted with this little continue button. We'll click continue, and we will see that we have just created a new treehouse, size level 3 from the 2 that we just burned. So if I go back to the factory and I click fuse, I can click on here, and now I only have this level 1 and this level 3, combining those two level 2s. So yeah, this will be also where you will upgrade past level 3 to 4, 5, and beyond. But once, and this will be the same process, you just need to have blood charts for that, and that'll be a future integration, and we'll also make a video on that in the future. So yeah, that's that. Now we're going to jump into the new locations. So we have the treehouse and the battlefield being changed up just a little bit to suit the new mechanics. So yeah, we'll jump to the main page, and then we'll see you guys there. Alright, we've just made it to the battle location. You navigate here through the main map. You'll just click on the battlefield. So once we're here, we'll see all of our Gen 0 bears, and we'll have another drop down here to see all of our Gen 1s. So yeah, I mean, it's relatively similar to what we've already had, but with a little bit more statistics to see. I know you guys have wanted that, so we were able to implement that here. And then also, you have another additional UI for the Gen 0 and the grouping of Gen 1s. So we'll go over that right now. So this Gen 0 has been staked. And to stake a Gen 0, all you're going to do, you're going to click, we'll go with 3, we'll click the stake button, we'll get a transaction to come up, and then we'll go ahead and push that through, and we'll give it some time, and we will see our assets move from the unstaked area over here into the staked area. Alright, the stake was successful. Now we can see that those 3 bears that we just staked have moved from unstaked to the staked area. So now, what you might notice, this little plus sign on the top of all the Gen 0s. So this will bring up another UI window with some statistics. So this guy, I can claim 10 levels, I can claim this amount of BLD from him. But what's new is this grouping section. So this is where your leadership trait will determine how many Gen 1s you can stack with your Gen 0. So in this case, I can put 4. So all you do to get them in there is, you'll see all of your Gen 1s down here. You'll see Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1. All you do is you select how many Gen 1s you want to put in. I'll put in 2. So we're going to send these 2 Gen 1 bears into the Gen 0. And what this will do is will increase its yield as well as give you other benefits within the battlefield location. So we're going to go ahead. We selected how many we want. We need to make sure that we do not exceed the amount of grouping limit we have. So I can't do 5. I could do 4, but in this case I'm just going to do 2 for just for the video. So we're going to click confirm group. We'll get a transaction to pull up, and notice the stats on the side, the BLD yield per day, will increase once these Gen 1s make it in. So we're at 6750, we'll click confirm, and then we'll wait for this transaction to be processed, and we will see some stat changes. Alright, our transaction is just processed, and now we can see we went from, I think it was 6750 to 10,150 per day on this Gen 0, because these 2 Gen 1 bears have now been stacked inside. If you want to see information about your Gen 1 bears, you can go ahead and click the eye, and it will bring up a claim feature. So if I have levels I need to claim for this Gen 1, I'll just claim them, and we'll be good to go. You also have the option to claim everything. So all of the levels that are currently claimable, all of the yield that's claimable in this location, I just click on the claim all button right here, and it will pull up a transaction. You'll go ahead and click confirm, and that will just claim everything across the board into your wallet. Alright, everything's been claimed. We can see we have no BLD claimable now because we've just claimed it right now. We have no levels claimable. Where is that? Right here. No levels claimable, so we've just wiped all of our stats and claimed all of our additional yield as well as levels to our Gen 0 bears. Cool. So now that we've gotten through the battlefield location and kind of the ins and out of that, we'll go ahead and jump into the treehouse, or the forest. We've renamed it so it's not so confusing, so I'll do my best to not call it the treehouse. We're going to be moving to the forest location. So we'll be back on the main page, and I'll catch you guys in a second. Alright guys, so We are now back on the main page after we did the battlefield location. We're going to move over to the forest. So all we're going to do is we're going to click on the forest location, and it will bring us here. So you'll notice that there, again, just like the battlefield, there's quite a lot of changes here. So on the right side, we'll see all of our unstaked assets that are not anywhere in the game. We can use this drop down to select which asset we want to see. So what we're going to do is, in this scenario, we're just going to stake a treehouse, and then we're going to group NFTs inside of the treehouse. So let's get that started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stake a treehouse. We're going to use the one that we just merged. So we're going to use this level 3 treehouse. We're going to stake it. We'll get a transaction. We'll go ahead and push this through, and then we'll be right back once we get this confirmed. Sweet, so our transaction has just finished. We see now that our treehouse is in the staked section. So let's just go through this real quick before we get doing anything else. We see a little plus sign by the treehouse. This will bring up a UI for what is inside the treehouse. So the first thing you'll notice is that there is no assets here, and that's because you have to stake the assets you want to put into the treehouse into the forest location first. So I'm going to go ahead and I will stake. Let's do some token generators. We're going to put 2 token generators into the treehouse. So we're going to go ahead and stake them. We'll do this, and we'll also do the same thing for 1 Gen 0 bear, so you guys don't have to watch too much of the staking because it's all the same. So we'll be right back once our token generators and our Gen 0s are all staked up and ready to go. Alright, so now we have our Gen 0 bear and we have our 2 token generators now staked within the forest location. So now what we're going to do is we're going to simply click on the little plus sign of the treehouse, which will open up the grouping UI. So what we're going to do from here, well, first let's talk about the little token generator yield performance real quick. So with the treehouses, you must stake a Gen 0 bear for the token generators to yield the 100% potential. So in order for it to get the 20,000 BLD per day, a Gen 0 must be staked with it to activate it. You can also stake a Gen 1 bear or group a Gen 1 bear with the token generators in the treehouse to activate it at an 80% yield. You can also stake a token generator with no Gen 0 bear or Gen 1 bear for a 25% yield. So you want to make sure that you're activating these token generators to get you the most efficient yield as possible. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to select all of our assets we would like to stake in, and then we will go ahead and click confirm group. We will send these 2 token generators into the treehouse NFT. This will send these 2 token generators up, and they will be grouped. I'm doing this 2 at a time just so we can see all of everything going on and watch the yield increase. So we see here we have a 5,000 BLD yield because there's nothing staked inside of it, nothing grouped, so nothing's being activated. So now we see, okay, it's bugged out just because I think of the testing environment. So we will then stake our Gen 0 bear in to activate these token generators, and I'll be back once this is all staked up and ready to go. Alright, so we got everything staked up. We can now see that the yield performance of the treehouse is at 100%. If we click on the token generators, we can see that the yield capacity is at 100%. If we were to stake a Gen 1, this would be 80, and if no bears were staked in the treehouse, this would be at 25. We can see the same here, and we can click some stats here as well. This will say what the stamina is and everything you need to know about that bear. Sweet. So we've just grouped up this treehouse. It's fully set up now for a maximum yield for a level 3. We will now hop into the barracks location. We'll just go over that real quick. Not a whole lot has changed just due to the nature of the barracks, but we'll go check it out anyways to see what's new. I'll catch you guys on the main page and we'll check that out. Alright, so now we're going to move over to the barracks from the main page. All we're going to do is click on the barracks, and you'll see that everything is exactly the same. You can go ahead and you can claim, or you can stake your bears here, just the same. Just a little bit of UI changes here showing your stamina levels for all the bears you have and the levels they have. So this is where you will level up 1 time per day to collect your levels, and yeah, that's about it for the barracks. Alright guys, so we've just went through the barracks. Now we're going to move into the MetaPass location, where we will be able to stake a MetaPass to give our army a global yield buff as well as a stamina regeneration buff. So to navigate there, all you have to do is click at this top right. You'll click on MetaPass settings, and then you will be here. So you'll see all these MetaPasses. I have a lot apparently. So all you have to do is click where you want it to go. So if I want to buff, now keep in mind you can only put one MetaPass in the buff location. So I could just select one, click buff, and this will stake this MetaPass into the buff location. Similarly, I can click on as many MetaPasses I want to be staked as a yield, and I can click yield, and then I can go ahead and stake all of them. So that's pretty straightforward for the MetaPasses, and going to be pretty crucial asset to help you build your army with your stamina regeneration, as well as yield more BLD per day. Alright guys, so we've just went over the MetaPass and its staking locations, so we're going to jump into the TreeMarket. So this is where you can buy whitelist spots, NFTs. In the future we'll add a lot more functionality to the TreeMarket, giving you buffs and a lot of other items that are undisclosed at this moment, but yeah, we're going to jump in. So all whitelist spots are going to be on layer 2. So you can buy these. You will need to have Matic in your wallet and BLD. That's it. So you just go in, you would click buy, just like in the normal layer 1 BloodShed Bears TreeMarket, and I'll click buy now, and then you will see a transaction come up. You'll go ahead and you'll push this transaction through, and then you'll successfully purchase this whitelist spot. So yeah, whitelist spots are relatively the same. You'll see these little Polygon logos next to it, just indicating that you need to be on the Polygon network for it to work. And then we also have the NFTs on the TreeMarket. Now keep in mind that the auctions will be on layer 1, because that is just a gasless transaction anyways. It's just a signature event, or yeah. And then some of the direct buys will also have to be on layer 1 as well, just due to the nature of the ERC 721 contracts, and we have to lock it into our contract for you guys to be able to purchase it. So keep that in mind when we do direct buys and auctions, but I mean, it's relatively the same. If I want to buy a lottery ticket for this NFT, I would open it up. I could buy 10 tickets, and I would buy them, and it looks like I haven't approved this yet, so I'll approve it right now, and I'll be right back once this is approved. Alright, we just set the approval for our BLD in the TreeMarket. So this would be the ticket buying transaction. So I would just select how many tickets I want, go ahead, load the transaction up, push it through, and this transaction will take just a few moments, and we will be ready to buy some tickets. So I'll be right back once these are bought. Alright, we just bought the tickets for the lottery. So we can go in, we can come in, we can see that we own 10 tickets, and 10 tickets were added to the amount of tickets sold for this lottery. So yeah, pretty straightforward. It's relatively the same as it was, just a little bit of differences for the NFT buying for auctions and direct buys. Sweet. So TreeMarket is covered. We know how this works now, and now we're going to jump into the actual wallet itself. So I will meet you guys in just a second. Alright, we're back on the main page, and to navigate to the wallet and what you have, you just click on the faction bank right here in the middle. You'll click here, and you will be prompted with this UI window. So this is for the battle mode specifically, so we can see that we have this much BLD claimable, and all we would do, we'd click claim all. It would claim all the BLD and all the levels from the battle location. Same thing with the forest. We have this much BLD claimable in the forest, so we can go ahead and do that. And if I had MetaPass staked in the yield location, I would be getting BLD for that as well. The wallet is pretty straightforward. This is just where you would go as a central hub area without having to navigate through the map to claim your BLD. Sweet. That's the wallet, and that's how you will figure out where your BLD is. And keep in mind that we are not using an in-game balance anymore. So these will be all ERC20 tokens added to your wallet. So the sending feature will be done straight through MetaMask or whatever wallet you're using. So that's done. Now we're going to go to bridging from layer 2 to layer 1, which is probably not the most intuitive process for everybody, but we're going to go ahead and show you guys right now. Alright guys, so now we're going to go over bridging from layer 1 to layer 2, and from layer 2 back to layer 1 as well. So from the main page, all you're going to do is you're going to come up to this top right, you're going to click bridge, and then you will be met on this screen. So let's go over what bridging is. So bridging is moving your assets from layer 1 to layer 2 or from layer 2 to layer 1. So essentially it's taking your asset that you have in a suspended state if you're migrating from layer 2 to layer 1 and putting it back into a place where you can make interactions with it, like listing it on OpenSea or transferring it into a different wallet. So that would be from Matic to ETH. That would be taking your in-game asset and transferring it back to layer 1 so you can do other actions with it as you please. Now, if you bought a Gen 0 bear off of OpenSea after our migration, and this bear is on layer 1, you would need to use this ETH to Matic function, which will bridge your NFT from layer 1 into layer 2 so it is usable within the game environment. So I have a drop down window here, and I can select any asset I want to bridge over. So I can do BLD, I can do token generators, I can do Gen 1s, etc. So I've already loaded up one, but I will show you guys here. So if I wanted to bridge these 3 Gen 0 bears over from Matic or L2 to layer 1, I would select them, and then I will go ahead and click this transfer button. This will take about 30 to 60 minutes, as it says here, in order for you to be able to claim this asset onto layer 1. And I've already done that, as you can see down here. And so once this 30 to 60 minute window is over, you will then claim your NFTs, and this will bridge them from layer 1 or layer 2 to layer 1, or from layer 1 to layer 2. And this will be the same process every time. So yeah, that's how the bridging works. And really the only time you're going to be using this is if you've either bought an asset off of secondary market, or if you're wanting to take your assets off of the game and out of the game to list on the secondary market, or to transfer to a different wallet if that's what you want to do with it. So yeah, that is the bridging. And now we'll move on to, alright guys, so yeah, that's pretty much everything we have for new additions, how to set up for layer 2, and how to situate yourself to forge your strategy and get going. One thing to keep in mind now is with the stamina traits in the game, that your bears won't be able to be staked in the same location if it's the barracks or the battlefield for forever. So their stamina traits will slowly deplete, and once they are at 0, they will no longer be yielding any BLD, and they will no longer be gaining any levels for being staked in those locations. So make sure you're coming in, you're checking up every once in a while, making sure your stamina is not at 0, and if it is at 0, make sure you move your Gen 0s or Gen 1 bears into the forest location, either staked by themselves or inside of a treehouse to get that additional stamina regeneration. So yeah, that's all we got for today. That's all we've been working on for this layer 2 update. Many more features to come, but now the option is in your hands. How are you going to play the game? What strategy are you going to do? How are you going to yield at the most efficient rate? So yeah, guys, hope this helped, and as always, may the bears be with you.